can use the chat box. Okay. Apologies once again for just connecting this. Hey, thank you for that. Now I know you can hear me. Good evening. Egbelue Peterson, good evening. All right, so this evening I would just go straight to reading our speaker's profile, who is on the call with us right now. I know his profile has been sent to the group. I'd like to read his profile out for those who are connecting here. And if you're on YouTube as well, you can say hello. All right. This evening we have with us our speaker, Pastor Timon. Timon Oviawe is a multifaceted life coach and a trainer who approaches personal and professional development through the lens of emotional intelligence. With a unique perspective that combines emotional awareness and skill building, he crafts impactful training initiatives that empower individuals to reach their full potential. Oviawe's expertise is backed by a robust educational background and a diverse array of certification. He holds a certification from the prestigious Center for Management Development, CMD, which has equipped him with the necessary tools and techniques to deliver transformative training programs. Additionally, he is a certified emotional intelligence coach, EICC, and a certified practitioner in emotional intelligence, EICP, demonstrating his deep understanding of the role emotions play in personal and professional success. Furthermore, Oviawe is a licensed marriage and relationship counselor, underscoring his commitment to fostering healthy interpersonal dynamics and nurturing strong personal connections. Please, can you, with all excitement, help me welcome Mr. Timon Oviawe, who is on the call right now. Please help me welcome him.
Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, let me know on the chat board. Okay, thank you very much. Musa, Grace, thank you. I see that. Thank you very much for welcoming me. Thank you very much, DG, for the invite, and I'm precious sure that today is going to be a great day for us. I'm to go straight into my session, right? Am I to go straight into my session? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much. And like I said before, it's a pride, a thing of joy that you are welcoming, or you are allowing me to be here today. And next couple of minutes, I just want to talk on the subject at hand. Beautiful empathy and leadership, building a strong connection, then fostering trust. These are deep things, deep things to consider when you're talking about emotional intelligence and then leadership. We talk about empathy. I want to start with the fact that there are some things we must know, that this is something as we grow, I'm sure we are all young people here, and we're looking at leadership. Most of us have grown to come and recognize what bad leadership is. But when we see good leadership, or probably want to envision good leadership, we might just see them on the pages of books. And today we are talking about how you as an individual can metamorphose into becoming that leader that is emerging, that leader that is coming up with the tool called empathy, which is one of the tools of emotional intelligence, as it were. But why are we having to be empathic in leadership? We must look at what leadership is, and then we'll look at what empathy is and what we are looking at it using to build. We talk about empathy is the ability to understand what other people are going through and imagine yourself being in that person's position, as it were. But that's the book definition. Empathy is quite difficult different from sympathy. We must understand that sympathy is just like, oh, sorry from afar, but empathy is like putting yourself in the position of trying to feel what the person is feeling. And that's what leadership is about. We're talking about empathy in leadership, empathy as a tool in leadership. So as we sit here and listen this evening, we must first of all begin to make up our mind and our minds that is where that at the end of this 30 minutes, something will happen to my thinking, something will happen to my perspective towards leadership and the way I see things. Because at the end of the day, this program is put together for a transformation of people who listen to it. So as it were, empathy in leadership is talking about how you can become, how you can feel the pulse of those around you. So, but the way I put it this way, now, if you're looking at leadership, you see that if you look at that statement, follow me closely, we are talking about three categories of people. We are talking about the leader, then we are talking about the people who the leader, who walk through the leader, and the beneficiary of what you are doing. Let me put it this way. Who is a leader? A leader is somebody who is a visionary. Let me put it in a very visionary. What a visionary does is that you have a vision, and when you have a vision, you need people to work with you to actualize that vision. So that the part of leadership is the first part of what we are talking about. We're talking about how that leader can make use of empathy to build strong connection and foster trust. So that leader is the person that should have empathy right now. Who is he having empathy to? You are looking at the second category. Who are the people who he must have communicated the vision to, and they are ready to run with the vision to actualize that vision? That's the second category of people. The third category of people are the beneficiary of the vision. So which include the people who are carrying out the vision, and the leader who is envisioning the vision, and the beneficiary, which are people who are not even part of the whole process. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, it's just like, okay, I'm president of a country. I am the leader in this case, because leadership does not have to be a position anyway, but by way of clarifying what I'm trying to put across is, let's assume that I'm the president of this country, and I'm envisioning that by the year 2028, we will be the food hub of Africa. And that's a vision. We want to be the food hub. If any African country is suffering for food, Nigeria should be able to supply food, any kind of food. We probably might zero it down. So, okay, maybe yam, cassava, rice. That's the food hub. It's a vision. Now, I, as a leader, will not be able to go to all the farms, all the lands in Nigeria to plant it. So I will need an army of farmers, and I'm using my word with a sense of responsibility. Remember, we're talking about empathy in leadership, building strong connection and trust, and fostering trust, as it were. So now that's the army who will go into the farm, who will till the ground, who will watch over it, clear the weeds, and make sure that at the end of maybe 5 months, 6 months, there is a bountiful harvest, and we are storing it. And there are some people who will also act to there's a silo, there is a place to store it, there's a place to transform it. If it's cassava you want to out of, if it is Gary you want out of Nigeria, the food hub. I hope we are together. And I'm trying to make it as logical as possible for us to understand the topic before us this evening. Then you look at that particular thing, and at the end of the day, I am the visionary, who is one part. So the army we're talking about now, who are that the army might be from diverse places, the farmers, the mechanical, the people who will do the machineries, people who will do the storing, people who will do the selling. And then you have, that's the second part. That is the second part of people who are called the people that the visionary will work with. Then you have the third part, the consumer, people who will buy to make alive. So they are all a food chain of how this works. Now, at the end of the day, when the last part of the people, like remember I said, in the last part of the people, you have both the soldiers, the farmer, and the leader himself, because I'm going to partake of it. So at the end of the day, everybody is involved in that last part. Now take note. For the people who are the soldiers, who are in the farmers, as it were, for them to be able to believe in the vision of making Nigeria a food hub, me as a leader must first of all understand what they are going through. That means try and put myself in their position. That's empathy. So when you are putting yourself in the, you understand what they are going through, you'll be able to meet their needs so that they can produce or get something out at the end. So there is to be a connection between my thinking and the thinking of the people who are on the farm. That's where it's building strong connection. I will still get to that place. I hope you guys are with me. I'm trying to make it look as practical as possible. Now, those people will have to believe in my vision. And for them to believe in my vision, there must be a form of connection to say, agreeably, we believe in what this man is saying. And I must take action to make them believe. Because leadership is the ability to make a vision come to a reality through people. So these soldiers now must believe in me. There's a way, a connection, and a trust they must build so that that particular vision must come. Now we'll now talk about the third person, this third set, who are the final beneficiary, which includes us, me as a visionary, and the people who are on the farm, who will say, if the rain is falling, if everything is, we must be there to make sure that Nigeria becomes the hub of Africa, the African food hub. Now everybody is working. Before that vision can come to reality, which is the function of leadership, there must be a connection of some sort so that at the end of the day, we will say we have succeeded. That's one of the things that empathy will do. If the leader does not understand the feelings and the troubles and the challenges and the excitements that these soldiers are going through, they will not key into you. They will just feel you are using them the same way in churches, the same way in your business, the same way in your company. When the leader has a vision, he has workers, and the workers must believe what this particular person is saying, so that at the end of the day, the bottom line aligns. In your own small home, if you are married with children, your wife, your people, at the end of the day, is how you believe the people you are working with and understand what they are going through. It's an act. You must connect with them on that level. And as you connect with them, you will begin to build trust. Now, listen, if you have a barrier, you can write this down. Trust is earned over time. Connection is earned over time. So you don't expect to earn a connection just simply because you are a leader and people just, hey, what you do is that what they see you do consistently over time is what builds trust. Now, look, I wrote this down when I was prepared for. They said, strong connection and trust is built on the foundation of consistency in exhibiting three things, which I want to elaborate on: value, honesty, and integrity. With that is all binding the vision together. You have a vision, and you must have good value, and you must have honesty and integrity. You understand? So what happens is that if you have vision and value, you say you're a leader, you say, I will come by 2 o'clock. Today you came by 2 o'clock. Next tomorrow you come by 2 o'clock. In the upper week, you came by 12 o'clock without giving any excuse. There will be a twat in trusting. So leaders will need to be consistent over time to build trust, so that somebody can say, no, we know that this leader, whatever he says he will do, he will do it. So when we are talking about building strong connection and trust, we must understand that it's something we will build over time. So as a teenager, if you don't begin to build this now, in the next 5-10 years, somebody will know you for something. That you are consistent with your word, you are honest with your dealings, and your integrity is without question. So you will begin to build connection with the people you are talking to. They will say, we know him. I don't know if I'm making if I'm communicating to you, just write yes. Type yes on the chat, but let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. I need to know that I'm not talking over your head. Is anybody there? Can you hear me? Okay, bless God for you. Bless God for you. So when we talk about empathy, is you understanding the other people. Okay, what are they going through? What's their challenges? How am I going to help them? you must also believe in the vision. And that will make the vision go for. I'll tell you a short story, and this is a true life story. How many of us know about? I've said it most of the time when I give talk on vision, and people, I share it with a lot of people. And you can go online and verify. You know, these days, everything we talk about, you can go online and verify it. During the presidency of JF Kennedy in the 60s in America, he came up with the idea. Sorry, please, what is my time? Just send me a private message that I'm at the number of time I have that I can keep talking. So at that point in time, the man set up, as the of Kennedy said, oh, let's put the first man in space. That was the vision. The vision was, let's put the first man in space. That was John F. Kennedy. So he set up NASA, the National Aeronautic, whatever. I've forgotten the names. But you know NASA, where they talk about flying man to space, and that was the first time thing it will happen in the world. They want to put the man on the moon. So at that point in time, after he had people had started working and they were all doing everything. So he wanted to go and do an evaluation tour. So go to the place to see how they were doing. That presidency went on. So while he was going through the tour, he saw a man at the corner of one of the lobbies with a mop and a mopping stick at the corner. And the eyes just saw him and he was like, I went to the man and said, hello, man, what are you doing there? The answer of that man has become a subject of discussion in most every university today. And what did he say? Remember, he's a janitor. He cleans the toilets, cleans the ground. When the president asked him, why are you here? He told the president, I'm here to put the first man on the moon. That means that he never negated himself as just a janitor. He bought into that vision because he realized that even for the president to recognize me here as a janitor, to ask, what is your problem? What are you doing here? Not putting him down. He was proud to tell the president, I'm here to put the first man on the moon. That means he bought the vision of the president. The president had come down to their level to ask everybody up to this that seen a janitor, did not even ignore the janitor. To make the janitor relevant, he recognized him in that place. And the janitor was proud to say, look, I bought into your vision. So the consistency of the president at that time made the man to say, okay, I buy what you're talking about. So what happened at that point? There was a connection and there was a trust. Did they put the first man on the moon? Yes, Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon some couple of years after that. Why? Because there was a connection between the president, who is the leader in this case, and the people, even including a janitor. So the question is this: everyone here is looking for one day to become a leader in one form or the other. As a matter of fact, you are a leader in your own right, but you will deal with this category of people, yourself as an individual, the people that will help you, all the visions you ever have, the people that will help you move it to the place of reality, and the people who will benefit from the vision that you have casted. You will understand that at this point in time, there should be a connection and trust in between these people for that vision to continue to thrive. So how do we build that connection? How do we build that trust? How do we continue to move on from time to time? That connection will will help you create a positive culture. And then what is culture? Culture is a mental programming that will keep you working on a regular basis. I'm not talking of the culture of your people in the village or a Google festival. No, that's not the culture I'm talking about. The mental programming that you have, that this is what we want to do and we are going ahead to do it on a regular basis. So ladies and gentlemen, they're listening to me, if you have somebody that had built empathy, a leader that has built empathy, that is connected with you and you have trust in the person, when the person says, let's do this, you will not question why. You probably be asking the question, how do we do it? Because you question the person and believed in the person. So trust is over time. It's not because I did it once or I said it once. A leader must be consistent with his word to build trust over time. And let me burst the bubble. Trust can be lost in just one day. What you have built in years can be lost in one day. So that's why being a leader, you must build a culture of being empathic. You must build a culture of being empathic. As you move around, connect with people who will believe in you. And the truth is that you must also be as vulnerable to let them know that you are not God, but you are man. You could make mistakes And when you make the mistake, the place of apologizing and making them know that it's a mistake, not an intention, will furthermore build more trust in them. But if the mistake is becoming consistent again, you begin to look at, how do I connect? Once you build trust in some people, you probably might be surprised that the time you use in building the first level of trust, when you break that trust, it will take you about twice the time you use in building the first one to build the second level of trust. Because at this point, then there's a reference to something that they don't believe. So as a leader, wherever you move to in building a trust, it's a process. And I like the word that was used, is building. Building is a verb in this place that is a present continuous term. It's in a present continuous term. So it's not because you have built it today, you relax and say, I did it yesterday. You continue to do it on a regular basis. And that's why I use the word strong connection and trust is built on the foundation of consistency to exhibited value, integrity, and honesty. When you keep being consistent in these three values, these three things, you have value the value is what you believe in. People want to see what is value. Value is those things that believe, your core value is the thing that you believe in, that you will not allow anybody to move you away from it. These are my belief system. And your people, your followers, as it were, your army, as it were, must believe in what you believe in. So if you don't believe that we can make the food hub, Nigeria, the food hub of Africa, probably the food hub of the world, you don't believe what he's saying. If you don't believe, if the person that is saying it does not believe what he's saying, it will be obvious. Are you seeing how it is? So as leaders and leaders to be, you must be very emphatic about yourself. This is what we want, and you must believe in it. Believing in your core value is your core value is what you believe in, and holding on to what you believe in, maybe honesty, maybe integrity, hard work. I don't know what your core values are. Your individual must have a core value. Each leader, as you are developing yourself to be a leader, you must have a core value. What are the things that when you wake up, you cannot compromise in doing in your life? And that is what you will be consistent with. And your followers, your foot soldiers will say, okay, this is what this man does. This is what this woman does. I believe in him or her because of this. And they have found out that you are consistent over time. And when they see that you are consistent over time, the whole you burn. They will say, okay, this is what she is doing for us. This is what he is doing for me. But when you do it this year, or you do it this month, next month you refuse to do it, the other month you want to come and do it to cover up again, they see you as a yo-yo, and you become a pattern of believer that you are not to be trusted. So if you want to keep trust, there's a level of consistency, of honesty, but operating in a core value that nobody can gainsay, a core value that nobody can push you away with. Every time, any day, anywhere, they know that this mass person is known for this. If you are the kind of person that when you say good morning, there are people like that. They say good morning, you go and are you sure it's morning or night? And they are consistent with their line. So you trust their ability to lie. So you don't want to relate with them. There's no connection whatsoever. So you must also, as you grow in that realm, I don't care which predeterminative nature you have had or where you are coming from. But once people see that you are consistent, you have a core value, you are honest, and once you have those things and you relate with them and you come to say, what's wrong with you? How are you doing? You will just be, just like, for instance, now I put the call across to somebody, and the person sees that every time I'm checking him or her up, not because I want to get anything, but because he just said I'm consistently checking on him or her. There is a trust that you build for with that person, that I know he has has me in mind. So because that person has you in mind, there's a level of connection you have to, because you probably they ask you, why do you, I say, I don't know, but I just like him. There's something that will connect you. So for a leader that you are, I want to abuse every one of us here. I want to believe every one of us here is a leader. You are potential leaders and you are leaders in the making. And as a matter of fact, you are already leaders. So you must begin to show empathy. Look at the feeling of the people around you. What are they going through? How can I improve them? What the vision that we have as a leader? How can I make them feel better? I'll give you an example. I was doing a training for a particular company one day, and somebody called me and said, "I don't know. I had a talk, and one they said this particular lady is always is coming to work late these days." And somebody was not said, if he's coming too late, this they give high query now. That was the first solution. And I called them. I said, will the query be the first thing for you to do? You are her leader. She has not been coming late before. All of a sudden, in fact, past 3 days, 4 days, she's coming terribly late. I think the first thing for you to do is to call her into your office and ask, hey, let's call her Janet. Janet, what's the problem? You have not been coming late before. What's the problem? Why are you coming late? Is there anything? At that point in time, even if there's nothing, the fact that you sat her down is the process of being empathic. You want to know what she's going through, what exactly is causing her to do that. That's what leaders do. And I know you probably might not be in a position to do that for a large people, but when you work with the core and the core see that the culture you are building is to be empathic and to believe and connect with the people you are working with. Every other person that comes into the system will build that culture, that mentality of thinking that whenever something is wrong, you call the person to have a dialogue with the person, shows that you have me in mind. Then you are building trust and you will do it over time. Consistency in that behavior, which you too will know how to do. Everybody will see it. I also consulted for another company, and the new person that was talking to me in that particular organization was I think it's in HR, and one of the staff who was pregnant wanted to go on leave. But before then, there was some transaction that had gone between the person above and the staff who is pregnant. Remember, the HR was not in the picture. Now, when the HR came, the lady who is pregnant was not saying that they looked at the agreement, the JD and everything. She was having two people's job together. So the nurse said the MD had said the person that was in that particular position before had resigned, so they told her to second it, believing that, well, because it's a higher position, that along the line, they'll move her to that position and she'll move there. So when she came to meet the HR was not having it, we went to meet the boss now. The boss was that, no, that's not the one they want to do. We want to return her back to her original work and hire somebody into that place. Now she now called me. So how does she communicate this to this person who already believe that the boss have told her? And I said, number one, was it documented? They said that particular agreement was not documented, it was verbal. I said, that's error number one. Error number two is the fact that the leaders just assume that did she perform in that job well? But I said, look at the record, she has done well. But because they don't want to just move her, that means they will be promoting her unduly. So they didn't want to do that. So I now told her to go and tell the boss, if at all, at any point in time, she made mention of that particular agreement verbally, it would be nice for him to keep to that word, despite the fact that the system may not approve because there is no proof, there's no evidence. But the truth is that there will be a culture you will build if you don't hold on to your word, because every other staff probably has seen what happened, have known what happened. And when you renege in it, anytime somebody else wants to do something like that happen to somebody else, they will probably not agree. I don't know if you understand. That's a culture you are building. So at that point in time, I help the staff. I help the boss to build trust by consulting for the HR. So once that now happened, at the end of the day, they gave the girl the job. So there is a level of trust that the girl will not have, that my boss said he would do it, despite there's no email, there's nothing like that. And he did it. That's what I'm talking about, being consistent. So, and because the HR understood that this person will feel so bad, he was already feeling the feelings of this particular HR. So she was looking for a solution. So at that point in time, we're able to build a connection between herself, the HR, the person who is the staff, and the boss right now. So suddenly, though that was not the intention originally, according to by that staff, there's a there is a connection and there's a level of trust that my boss said he would do it and he had done it. So that's what we're talking about, being empathic. When Nigerian government, people realize that people are hungry, all they would just need to do is, okay, I want to feel, is it true that they are really hungry? Even if they have excess food in their house, you just see that people are hungry, and then you act to make sure you ameliorate that particular thing. Even if the hunger is still persistent, when they see that you are concerned and you are doing something about it, people will be geared to move forward. That's one of the powerful thing that empathy can do. Empathy can build is a strong component of emotional intelligence. Empathy, you cannot teach emotional intelligence without teaching empathy, because empathy, emotional intelligence is your ability to know yourself and then know others. So in relating with others, you must be able to know how to feel their feelings. For those who are Christian, you'll see even Jesus Christ did empathy. Say, for we have the high priest that does not feel the feeling of our infirmity. So he came to feel it. He came to empathize with man in that case. So it's important. I don't want to talk too much. And I know that this is the basics of what we're talking about, fostering connection. When you are going to build connection, you must realize that consistency is key in exhibiting your vision, your vision, building good values. Let them know what your belief systems are. Honesty. You don't say A and do B. Consistently, you must be doing it on a regular basis. That's where you build connection and trust. You have to show integrity in all you do. You build connection and trust. As you do that on a regular basis, you will see that you will build an army that what you will not even, what you don't expect will happen. People will do it on your behalf. So it is important that we build these things. I don't want to stop at this so that we can have a lot of questions. But if you are going to build a strong foundation of connection and fostering trust, you must learn to be consistent in the exhibition of values, honesty, and integrity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's beautiful. And the examples given, you know, as you were giving those examples in my mind, I was like, okay, what will I do to if I was asked, those scenarios, those life scenarios? Well, how would I advise them best? Well, those are practical examples. Thank you so much. And those are real things, real life issues. Thank you. Thank you. See, everybody say thank you, both on Facebook, both on Zoom, and those on YouTube too have been following, back to back as well. Please, if you have your questions, please let it come now so that you can post the questions. Yeah, I said thank you, sir. That was a wonderful talk. Yes, empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of others. In fact, in that case, there are two things you've done. You've built, in fact, three things. You've made the HR wiser, and you've also helped the boss to build trust, as well as the staff also to be promoted. That's something that would have been denied. She would have been denied of that benefit. I once heard this from a popular musician. Please, I'm waiting for your questions. Consistency is key to building trust and value. Yes, that's what Kenny wrote from what you said on YouTube. Yeah, I was listening to a popular singer who said he used to have a pianist, a keyboardist who plays for him. He said, but that keyboardist was not 100% good, but he was trying and very committed. He said as he was going in the whole journey of the musical career, he grew and he became popular. So that sometimes he will be called to certain places and those ones will have more qualified keyboardists. He said, but what he did was that he refused to allow anybody to play for him. It was that keyboardist that he said to himself, he said he would rather go spend money to train that person than to go and employ another person. And that's so practical with what you've said. That's very, very practical. Instead of employing another person, but then with the one you have, you can also help to build them up. Okay, so if there are no questions, are there questions? I believe they're still trying to type their questions, both on YouTube and Instagram. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Instagram. On Zoom, if you've got your question, please type your question. I also like to state, uh, let me, I've been telling you guys, I've mentioned that part of the things we must lay hold of in this conference is the ability to network. Make sure you meet and take opportunity of this. Now, if I may tell you, I will not reveal everything. Some of the speakers that came here, I don't know some of them. I've never seen them before. Some were based on the influence of others like Pastor Timon. There were some topics that I needed some speakers on. In fact, one of the topics that many of you were so proud of, that the speaker who came and then he taught so well, and many of you kept making reference to it, Pastor Timon, got me that speaker, both for LIC, and he has also got me some speakers for Things Leadership. But that's just the beauty of it, building, riding on other people's influence, because people are asset if you can identify the asset in them. Pastor Timon, thank you so much. I am really grateful. Okay,
Pleasure.
somebody asked a question now. Grace Musa says, thank you, sir. I was a principal of a school, and when I try to commend my staff to the boss or relay their complaint, she'll just open their black book or relate issues that paint them black. How do I handle such situations? Because at the time, it felt like I was coming between them and the boss. Grace, I'm sure you're in Nigeria. Your boss must be in Nigeria. Sir, how do we address this?
You see, the truth is that at this point in time, we look at that organization called school. Some let me very blunt here. I think that the head teacher in this case should also come to a class like this, because yes, people have black books, but you don't keep record of them if you're not doing anything about it. But the question that you probably ask is that, what is Grace saying that the leader, the headmistress is not saying? If Grace is commending or recommending or telling that this person has done well, and the boss is not saying it, then it's either of two things: that those people are not consistent with what they want to do. The truth is that, okay, let me put this, maybe I didn't see it. The fact that we are saying the leader must be consistent in those three things, the people who are working for him also have to be consistent in your integrity too. So it takes two ways. You don't expect the leader to be consistent and you are not faithful consistently too. So if the Grace is saying the consistency of this, let's say Mr. Y, and the leader is not seeing the consistency, there's a disconnect somewhere. So what Grace can do is, you don't need to go, this is me now talking, if I were you, this is what I would do. You don't need to go to these people to tell them what the head teacher in this case or the principal in this case is saying. You will help them become better. You should be an influencer to them. What you are doing now, you are building a connection and a level of trust. So you become the person they run to. So you are going to be their leader in this case so that they can be better. Very soon, the black book that the principal has will be changing. So you are taking responsibility at this point. If you see something good in this guy and the principal is seeing something bad, well, let's even say that the principal is true and say one good thing, one bad thing about the person. Had that bad been a consistent thing or is a one-off? Like I said, once you do it once, it can break the trust. But if it's consistent, okay, he has done it today, done last, done that, you begin to call the person back and you need some therapy. But if it's a mistake, a single mistake, and it's being tagged like that, and the person has not been consistent in truth, you have to build the person's morale and confidence, and you now become the person who need to build the connection. And like the guitarist that Adeji talked about, you will build confidence over time, and you will see that you become the person that they will go through. You you lead, you are the leader that they will go to. So you make them better. And very soon the principal will see otherwise. And that's the way that's what I would advise you to do. So since you see the good, pump good into that, make the good the best that it can ever be. I don't know if you understand my point, Grace.
Grace, is that clear? Thank you so much, sir. That's for me, that's clear. Kenny is asking, those of you on YouTube, please post your question if you have questions now. Kenny is asking a question. He says, how long do you continue to empathize with a staff member who just refused to change?
Okay, now, being I want to be truthful with you. At a point in time, there are just some people that are not, they cannot be helped. Now you probably say, is there anybody that cannot be helped? Yes, at a point in time, not that it cannot be helped, but you don't know how to help them. And there are some people who probably have their keys, they have their password that will break them and get into them. So, but the truth is that if the situation is overwhelming for you, I will first of all advise that you second guess him or her to somebody else to handle. So there's just some people who are obstinate. But the truth is that I don't believe that you cannot put in your best. Empathize with the person. When you're now again, I'm trying to look at the board how you use empathize here. Empathize here does not mean that you are accommodating the weakness of somebody. It does not mean that you are endorsing the inadequacies of the person. What it means is that you are the person is in a weakness and you are saying, okay, fine, we can help you out, and the person too is willing to come out. So you cannot help somebody who doesn't want to come out. You get, and you say, I'm empathizing with you, I'm empathizing with you. Just like God, we know Jesus has come to die for everybody, as it were. But the truth is that a time will come, hell is meant for some people. Not that it's meant for some people. People choose to go there because at this point in time, they will not change. But then that does not mean that God is not asking on a daily basis for repentance, or for those who want to come to Christ, or those who want to repent. But I don't know whatever religion you are to have a change of heart. Yes. But the truth is that you keep on doing it at a point in time. So how long? I don't know. But if you find out that you are getting overwhelmed with the negative behavior of the empathy of somebody, you can look for somebody who is more proficient than yourself to handle that. But I don't believe you how do I call it now? I don't believe that I don't believe the worst of everybody. I don't believe the worst of people. I just believe that somebody can help someone. I might not be competent enough. I will recommend somebody else. So maybe the person does not, maybe you're not understanding the person's language, or the person does not just feel that's the environment. Something must happen. Somebody can change. I've seen the worst of people turn a new leaf. I've seen the love of people turn a job, but you just need to speak to their core and make sure that you feel the feeling of their affirmatives, and you see probably there will be change. So this, to say how long, I don't know. I don't know if I can put the time to it, but be consistent.
Consistency is key. Consistency is key. All right, sir. So a final question here, sir. How do we manage staff who feel they are being micromanaged by their bosses? How
Now, there are
do they
two
handle
things.
it?
There are two things you have asked here. How do you manage staff that feel they are being micromanaged? The question is, are they being micromanaged? If they are being micromanaged, the another question is that, are they competent enough to do the work that you have delegated to them? Because if it is a feeling, that means there is something that is making them think that way. Now listen to this. Something is making them think that way. There have been some situation that is making them to think that way, and that will determine their action. There's what we call the TFA model. That's the think, feel, and act model. What you think about will generate a feeling, and what you think about is as a result of the information around the situation. And you cannot think without in the absence of information. Take that, if you can write it down. You cannot think in the absence of information. So within the sphere of micromanaging, there's something this person has seen that's making him to think that, you have told me to do this job. You are still following me up. Allow me time to do that. So he's beginning to think in such a way that's making him feel. That's what your word said is feeling. So feeling becomes an energy, becomes a form of emotions. And we talk emotions are energy. So that emotion of how he is feeling will dictate how he acts, how he behaves, what he does. So the question is that what information is he feeding on that is making him feel that you are micromanaging and probably not give you the best that you are requiring from the person or the attitude that the person is portraying. So you ask yourself that question. When you're able to put these three and say, okay, what's making him to feel he's being micromanaged? Is it true that you are micromanaging? If you are micromanaging, I think then you can talk to him. It's not that I'm micromanaging. Just want to make sure there's a talk, a connection. If you build that connection very well again, you feel that the trust will now come. So if you look at that very well, what information, subtly body language, behavior are you passing to him to make him think why he is acting that way? Because energy, feelings are energy. And they are data also. When I always say they are data, there are feedbacks. Feelings are feedback. Emotions are feedbacks. So if he's feeling somewhere, there's something that is connecting to him that's making him to feel that way. So if you are the person that's micromanaging, ask yourself, what have I done or what am I doing that is making him feel this way? Is it true that I'm micromanaging? If I'm not micromanaging, I must have been doing something that's making him feel that way. Alter that thing that you probably see maybe his feelings will change.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time and for, taking your time to explain and answer all our questions. I really appreciate, sir. And definitely, I look forward. Well, I know Pastor Timon will come. So I look forward to calling you again and you answering. Thank you so much, sir. All right, we've come to the
No problem,
end
my
of
pleasure.
today's session. And thank God it's been a wonderful one. It's been a wonderful session. All right, guys. Today's session has been a wow, and thank God for the real life examples that were used to illustrate today's teaching. Thank you for joining today's class, and I also like to commend those who are working on their project. Please encourage your members to participate, and the defense still remains next week. So I wish you all best of luck. See you tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Bye-bye.